Hi, my name is Harish and I am a bachelor student who just finished his degree in 2020. My plan was to go for a higher studies abroad, and for this I needed an education loan since the tuition costs and the cost of living were pretty expensive. So this might seem like a very standard situation where a bachelor student wanting to go for higher studies and he needs a loan. But in my case, there was an extra complication, and that was that I was graduating in 2020, which meant that I was graduating during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, in my case, I was feeling that going for higher studies abroad might be difficult. I might have to defer, and even if I wanted to go right now, it would be even more difficult in getting an education loan. So, not only would the banks be not fully functional during the pandemic. Secondly, even if I had to go and get a loan, I would have to apply to multiple banks, and this would mean that I would have to go to the branches, visit them, apply, and maybe even have to, if I had to follow up, I had to go in person multiple times. What this meant was that I would be exposing myself to the COVID-19 virus, which is SARS-CoV-2, and this would mean that there was a very high chance of me getting the disease, and I wanted to avoid this. This is pretty risky. So not only was it less likely to get a education loan, it was also pretty risky. I would also might get COVID-19. So this was a very kind of a difficult situation for me, and this is where WeMakeScholars steps in. So WeMakeScholars essentially is an organization that works under the Government of India. Basically, they help people like me get an education loan for studies, higher studies basically. And one of the main highlights is that they do not take a single rupee from you. It's completely free, and this is because they are funded by the government. And this does not mean in any way that the service is subpar or anything. This is totally smooth. These guys are very quick, responsive. They even assign a special officer for every applicant so that they can follow up with banks and get all their knowledge. In my case, my officer's name was Bhavya Banda. He was a very professional guy, and he was super quick in getting responses from banks. So in my case, since I did not want to go offline, he set up a portal for me to upload my documents. The WeMakeScholars then processed all of it and then sent applications to whichever banks wanted to apply. So Bhavya already had a pretty good knowledge about what banks offer, what interest rates and collateral and stuff like that, and basically I didn't have to do a total comparison of every bank. He already had some really good knowledge, and he just told me, and he recommended a few. I went with one and applied through WeMakeScholars. I didn't have to go in person at all during the entire process, so that was a big win for me. And after that, after the initial application was submitted, the bank guys contacted me via phone, and everything was done either online, through email, or through telephone calls. And I had to just contact Bhavya by WhatsApp messages. So in my case, there weren't any delays or anything for the most, but there were a few situations where the bank was delaying stuff. In that case, all I had to do was just send a WhatsApp message to Bhavya, and that's it. I mean, he does something, he follows up with the bank, or I don't know. But the end result is that I get a call from the bank either on the same day or the next day, which is like super fast, super responsive. And this was a very cool thing about WeMakeScholars, is that everything is very fast and smooth. There is no delay, there is no bureaucracy involved or anything. It's just smooth. And it's free. Yeah. So this is pretty unbelievable, and I would definitely recommend going and contacting WeMakeScholars if you want to go and get an education loan for higher studies. I mean, if they could help me do this completely online and very smooth and fast during the COVID-19 pandemic, if there was no pandemic, this would have been even better and perfect. So I would definitely endorse WeMakeScholars.